Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Faisal Khan from VoiceBootcamp. How's everybody doing today? Can you guys hear me? Perfect. And all right. Well, I'll give it another 5 minutes to start. So in the meantime, let me test all my components that I need. So who's joining us from where? I'm from Toronto, Canada. Mexico. All right. Hey, there you go. We have another Canucks from Winnipeg. Oh, another Canadian. Oh, wow. A lot of Canadian today. দাদা কেমন আছেন কলকাতা? One of my favorite city, Kolkata. I've been a couple of times there. Hello, Richard. All right, just to give you a heads up as what we're going to do, I'm going to start the presentation shortly. After the presentation, I am recording the session as well, so I will have you guys provide you guys access to this video. It's also available on our YouTube, and the presentation slides, I will share that with you at the end of the seminar webinar, and at what point you should be able to download that in PDF file. Okay, just 3 more minutes. So how many of you guys work with UCCE currently? Hi, Manoj. It's one of the very unique product, a very not as big as any other Cisco call manager, but for those who are involved with call centers or Cisco Unified Collaboration, UCCE is one of the very high ticket product that provides a limited job scope, but then those there are a lot of jobs because it's not enough people, but there's not enough company using it. So for those who have the skills, are quite highly in demand, especially in the US. There are companies that are looking for guys even without experience because they just can't find anybody. So that is very unique. So, and it's very interesting product. It's very simple in a sense that when you do the integration and configuration, but just too many tasks to do to achieve certain things. So it is one of this very unique product. I mean, I enjoy it. I've been doing this for a while, and it's actually fascinating. But like I say, just to get a very simple thing done that you can do in UCCX, it takes forever to achieve that in UCCE. But once you understand the component required, it's actually not that bad. In my opinion, the biggest problem with UCCE is understanding the call flow. Once you pass that, it becomes a very straightforward product. All right, so let me go ahead and share my desktop in the meantime. So let me find out what my get response thing is. Just wanted to make sure you guys are able to hear me. Okay, so I'm assuming you're able to see the slide as well. Perfect. All right, that's me, the old guy, right in the picture. You can see, getting old. So what we're going to talk about in this particular video is about a precision routing of Cisco Unified Contact Center Enterprise. I'm going to give you a little bit of basic fact as what it is, and going to show you the differentiation between the precision routing queuing and of course traditional skills-based routing that most of us are familiar with. We're going to talk about some of the terminology such as attributes, how to create them, how do we assign attributes to agent, how do we configure precision queue, and then of course create the policy within that queue. And at the end, I'm going to show you script editors of how to write and develop a basic script for UCCE, precision routing. And then, of course, at the end, hopefully, I'll be able to show you a live demonstration. Followed by that, give you a little bit of updates about ourselves. I might just to give you a heads up for those who are not familiar with VoiceBootcamp. We're a small organization out of Toronto, Canada, and Las Vegas, USA. We specialize mostly on 100% on Cisco Unified Collaboration training since 2006. We do a lot of training in India, Dubai. We used to do a lot of training in India. Has been done for a while, but mostly Dubai, Singapore, Canada, and US. So again, I came from mostly routing switching background back in 1999. Did pass 2 CCIE certifications, but nowadays I mostly focus on contact center enterprise. I think we have one of the very good package for Cisco UCCE in terms of both classroom-based training as well as self-study kits. We haven't found anybody else having such a package, but I could be wrong on that. But that give us a little bit advantage that because we do spend a lot of time working on this product. We do have about 6 to 8 pods on fully duplex setup. So in this lab, I'm going to show you how one of our pod is how to configure all this. So for those who are not familiar with precision routing is basically a multi-dimensional routing that is built on proficiency. Typically in contact center enterprise, you route a call either based on your skills group, like you either belong to sales group or you belong to support group, for example. And with precision routing, you actually, instead of choosing agent based on a group, you choose agent based on their qualification, very similar to competency level in UCCX. So you create a policy that says, you know what, let's first choose agent that meet the best requirement, like somebody who's excellent in language, somebody who's excellent in certain product, and they're located in a certain location. So you allocate agent based on that. It doesn't really matter whether the agent is coming from, let's say, US cluster, or they are coming from India cluster, or they're coming from Europe cluster. What it matters is who's available and if they meet the qualifications. So I'll show you how to define that qualifications and how to assign the qualification to an agent. It has been available since UCCE version 9.0, released on June 2012. It is an enterprise-wide features. That means that when we create precision routing, It is not tied to a specific call manager cluster or CUCM clusters for that matter. So technically, you have a pool of agent that comes from pretty much anywhere within your organization, regardless of your which call manager clusters you're registered to. It is based on Web 2.0 and supports REST API configurations. Designed mostly for inbound voice call on 9.0, and it currently supports flat UCCE instance. And yet, though precision routing is part of it, you still have your skills-based routing in part of your call routing solutions within the UCCE. So what is the problem with traditional skills-based routing, like sales group or support group or engineering group? Well, the problem with a skills-based routing is that it is tied to a specific call manager or cluster. So if you have an India cluster, then you create a skills group called Sales India. And then if you have an agent from US clusters, you're going to have to create another sales group for US clusters. So every skills group that you create is bind to specific clusters. Now, what does that mean is that when I am creating my script, I can't choose agent from both unless I group them into more enterprise skills group base, or I have to route all the calls to India first, and then so there's a lot more work to do to select agent from all over the place. It's not impossible. It is possible that you can still select agent from India and in US cluster or Mexico cluster, but requires a lot of work. Precision routing, on the other hand, is based on your expertise. So an example, you have 3 agents, Jennifer, Samantha, and John, and you assign each individual based on expertise. If you are into car sales, let's say you sell auto insurance, and in auto insurance industry, you have highly qualified people who first of all have to explain you the policy, so they need to be very, very good in the language they're selling the product in. Second, agent could be certified in insurance. There are a lot of industry certifications available. So you can create a policy saying, if a customer is calling from US, you want to select agents that are, let's say, certified in insurance as a first choice, has proper good English language, and is located in USA. So that's your first criteria if you are creating a sales queue for US. If you are creating a sales queue for India, you may want to choose someone who knows, let's say, the Hindi language as being the better proficiency. You want to select someone who's from Bangalore, and you want to select someone who's certified. That's your first choice. Then, what if no agents available in this criteria? English proficiency 10, certified, and located in US. What if nobody is available? Then you can create a different rule that says, I'm going to create a separate rule that next choice would be someone who is good in English, has a 2-star, who has a 2-star knowledge of car insurance, but still certified. Okay, still certified. And the fourth option, choose an agent, third option. So if nobody is available with that criteria of everything, everybody is for example, superstar, the next step, choose the best one. So in this case, 2-star English, 2-star insurance, certified. Third option, if nobody is available in that group, choose an agent from who can explain, English, can talk, has knowledgeable in insurance. You're selling the product, right? So you need to have a knowledgeable in product, but doesn't have to be certified. Hey, there are a lot of Cisco engineers out there in the market that are very good, even better than CCIEs. So doesn't mean that just because they're not certified doesn't mean that they don't know what they're talking about. So you have to organize these skills or attributes, and then you decide which agent gets what. So these are what we call is attributes. Say English is the attributes. English will be assigned to Jennifer and with a 3-star or maybe 10 out of 10. Then Samantha will have 8 out of 10. John will have, let's say, 7 out of 10. So this is how you categorize those proficiency level. These attributes, for example, has two possibilities, either proficiency or true or false. So I'll come back to that in a minute. So let's say a customer calls in and you want to provide them the best choice. All right, so you want to select a customer who has 10 out of 10 in English, very good in auto insurance, and certified. Okay, so 10 out of 10, very good in auto insurance, and he or she is certified. And you will see that nobody was available in that group. Then your next option is to seeking a good match. The good match is, all right, 8 out of 10 in English, must know about the auto insurance. You are selling the product, right? And has to be certified. So you are compromising the language a little bit. So in this scenario, what's going to happen is going to find Anna, who has the English 8 out of 10, knowledgeable in auto insurance, and of course certified. Last option, if okay, fine, then find the next person who can meet the following criteria. Maybe 7 out of 10 in English, basic knowledge about maybe auto insurance, doesn't have to be certified. Hey, at the end of the day, you do not want the customers to hang up the call. You want the customers to be served. If the agent cannot provide the service, the agent can always transfer the call to a supervisor or somebody who becomes available at the time. So there's always a, like I say, peer group, maybe at the back end helping each other, who knows. So in this scenario, you choose someone who's okay in English, has somewhat knowledgeable in auto insurance, but doesn't have to be certified. So this is how you create this this routing policy. So how do I configure this? So first of all, I need to create the attributes. Well, okay, so there's a question from Manoj saying that in precision routing, does the longest available agent does not play? No, it does. I'll come back to it in a minute. They still play a role. So our first step is to choose attributes. Okay, what is the criteria? Who do you think will decide these attributes? You and I, the technical engineer, or the business team? Just take a shot. I mean, who do you think will make the decision? Exactly, the people who make the policies, not technical guy like you and I, because for us, we may not even have the qualifications. So once we are provided with that attributes, we will then translate that into a configuration. So attributes is what? English is an attribute, so the language is important, knowledge about the product, and must be certified. Second, we need to assign this to the individual, and as we assign them, we define a rating. So rating could be 0 to 10 or true or false. So certified. Now you can either be certified yes or certified no. You cannot say I'm half certified because you have completed half of the exam. That's not possible. So we create the attribute, and the next step, we assign it to the agent, and then we create a precision queue. So that is like creating a contact service queue in UCCX. If you guys are familiar with that, that is like creating a precision queue. Now, as we create the precision queue, we have the options to create up rules, and I will show that to you in a minute. Once we create the queue, we invoke that precision queue via the script. Sorry, right there. So instead of selecting a skills group, we select precision queue. And at this stage, if the precision queue agent is available, the call will be selected to the agent. If agent is not available, the call will go to queue, where you will basically play music and whatnot. Now here's one thing you have to keep in mind. If agent is available, call gets connected to the agent. But if agent is not available, then the success what do you call node will be invoked, not the what do you call the negative one. The positive terminal will be executed. That means, okay, I need to now queue the call. Okay, because if agent available, boom, you're connected. But if I'm not available, if the agent is not available, the queue has to be invoked. So that is when the call goes to queue. If for some reason it is unable to queue the call, then the negative terminal will be invoked, or terminal node, whatever you want to call it. All right, the first step, how do I create the attributes? So you go to UCCE web administration, select name, so a new attribute under from the manage menu, and then you create an attribute. An attribute could be either proficiency, that could be 1 to 10, or Boolean, for example, true or false. Now the question is, what could cause the node to fail? I'll come back to that at the end. So I'll explain what possibility could exist. So here, true or false, and you can then indicate either the whether you meet the requirement, yes or no, whether you're certified, yes or no. So those are the only two possibilities that you have as far as the data type. Now, as far as the default value, you can always assign a default value. Let's say start with 5, so that everybody who gets auto insurance by default will have 5. But again, it all depends on the business team, what they decide. Second is to assign the attribute to the agent. Okay, so in my example, I will go to, this is my web administration. I can log in as administrator. When I go to manage, I can click on attribute, and then I can choose to add a new attribute. So let's say I call this auto insurance. As far the, it's going to be based on proficiency, and the default value is going to be 5. Okay, and I can say agent, auto insurance, save. So now I have one attribute created. Simple, it's not that complicated. Okay, so once I create the attribute, my next step is to then create a queue. In this queue, which will be applied to your script, I can define what happened if if a call is abandoned. I can say ignore it. And again, in call center, there could be many reasons why the call can be abandoned, because you may not have an agent, it may be queue is full, call may drop, many reasons where that can fail. But what if you have 4 or 5 agents meet the requirement? What if the 4 or 5 agents are selected? Now, who do you select from that same criteria? Well, that is when the longest available agent comes into play. Okay, so first, precision queue rules has to match. Okay, precision queue rules has to match, and in that rule, if it says I have 20 agents available now, well, how do I select out of those 20? Well, in that case, longest available, or most skilled, or least skilled. So those are my choices. So that is something that you will select from right here. Does that answer your question, Manoj? Now in UCCE, sorry, in precision queue, once you create a precision queue, you have options, something called create as steps. As the call come in, step number 1, what are my criteria? If my step 1 does not meet the requirement, what do I do? Or what do I do next? I can go to step number 2 with a different requirement. Now you can have up to 10 steps per queue. Okay, per queue. So here's an example. I can add a new steps, and the first steps is Boston. Location has to be Boston, equal to true. That's the first requirement. Then I can say and. Okay, there's two possibility, and or. And means both condition has to match, or means only either one has to match. So the person has to be from Boston and has to have auto insurance proficiency greater than 8, equal to or greater than 8. So when you assign the attribute auto insurance to, let's say, Tom, you want to make sure that he has 8 or higher in order to meet this line. So in this scenario, Tom has to be in Boston as well as has to have auto insurance 8 or higher in proficiency. So this is how you create the policy. And then of course you can add step 2, step 3, and so on and so. Once that is done, write your script at the precision queue node. Now, what can cause the queue to fail? Maybe you don't have enough space in the queue. Could be memory issues for many different event or system related event that can cause the queue calls to fail. There's no exact information that I'm aware of in terms of, okay, this is the reason why the queue could fail. Once the call happen, maybe let's say you could not communicate with CVP. Okay, sorry, not CVP. CVP, that will be successful, the call queue. Maybe you were sending the calls to an agent, but there is no route to that agent. Okay, so an example would be the agent VJ has been selected, but the call manager is unable to return the appropriate label for that agent, so that UCCE is unable to return the label to call manager, or maybe call manager does not know how to reach that cluster. So those are reasons why the call could fail. All right, so when you create a precision queue, and you have two options. You can select based on static, meaning that select the queue from the drop-down list, which is pre-configured, or dynamic, where you assign it to a variable, and the variable will decide which queue to select from the list. So those are the two options that you have when you. Now, why do you want to do a variable? You could do a variable, for example, you can give the user a choice. Hey, which queue do you wish to go? If you might say, okay, I want to select, press 1 for agent sales in India, press 2 for sales and in US. And if you select, let's say India, you want to substitute the India queue name in there. If you want to select US, you want to substitute US queue name in there. So that can be done using a variable, and I'll show that to you when I do the lab for you. Now, as far as the limitation of is concerned, precision queue per system, there are 2,000 queues available maximum. You can create 10,000 attributes per system, 5,000 steps and per system, 10 steps per queue, attribute per queue with 5 distinct attribute per agent. 50 attributes can be applied to individual agent, and in any combination of precision queue plus skills group per agent will be based on 50 all combination. You can still assign the same agent to a group. Remember, don't forget that. You can still do that. With a precision queue, there are new reports that are available. So for those who are interested in reporting, not interested, you have to report in contact center enterprise, because that is the main that's the best only way to find out the health of your organization, call center organizations. So you can use Cisco has come up part of your COIC reporting. Cisco provides new reports that are predefined, and you can use this report for various information that you want to acquire from the precision queue. For example, if you want to find out how many agents belongs to precision queue, or the queue efficiency, or how many steps per queue available. So if you have a lot of queues and you want to find out which one has 10 steps or which one has 4 steps, for whatever reason, you could achieve that using some of these reports. So again, agent can exist in both a skills group and precision queue, and it is recommended if you want to migrate agent to precision queue, you do that by assigning few attributes at a time, because an agent can receive a call from a skills group at the same time precision queue. You just have to be, you don't want to put everything in together and get confused about that. Queue calls to any combination of precision queue and skills group, pilot by locating a certain percentage of call. So if you're still sending calls to skills group but you want to do a migration, what is recommended is you put a percentage node and say 60% of the call goes to skills group, 40% will go to precision queue. So you can slowly change the percentage to 100% toward the precision queue. We do have a video on our YouTube channel at VoiceBootcamp. If you look for our YouTube, there is a video shows you how to use percentage to route calls between multiple queues. Existing report update to show that both precision queue and skills group information. Remember that existing queue that you're already using may not have the precision queue information customized. So you want to get the proper report if you're using an existing queue report already customized that you have previously customized, by modifying it and ensuring that precision queue informations are included, because the new report that is included does not have all the skills group information. So you may have to customize in that scenario. All right, so let's do a live demonstration. I've already showed you how to create the first attribute, so I'm going to create the next attributes. English. Is it going to be Boolean or proficiency? Exactly. It's going to be proficiency. English is between 8 to 10, so I'm going to say 5 as a first choice, and then I'm going to assign individual employee with a different rating. Okay, so it is already in exist, so I'm going to say change it to English. Attributes, last one is certified in insurance. Okay, so this one is going to be Boolean, because you can be either certified or not. You cannot be say, well, I'm certified 10, I'm certified 8. That doesn't make sense. So either true or false. So start with false, and then you can, when I assign it to the individual agent, I can change it. All right, so I got my 3 proficiency, as you can see, attributes. Now I'm going to go and apply that. Now, here's the thing. I have in my organization, my setup, if I go to manage agent, I have multiple agents, but they're coming from 2 different clusters. I got, for example, agent 2, David, agent 2, David, as well as in agent 1 and Vijay Mali. They're all from India India group cluster. Tim Cook, Tony, and David Smith, they're from, let's say, US cluster. So when you're using a precision routing, if I go to my agent, so these are my agent from India, and none of them agent belongs to any, it doesn't have to be belong to any skills group. So I can remove them from all the skills group that we have. Okay, they don't have to belong to any skills group. Okay, if I select my US agent, no skills group. Okay, so agents are created, they don't belong to any skills group, but they do belong to, some agent belong to India cluster, some agent belong to US cluster. So I'm going to start with 2 agents from each location. So I'm going to say Tim Cook from in US cluster. I'm going to go to attribute, going to give him English 10, certified yes, auto insurance 10. There we go, save. Then Tony, attributes, we'll give him English 9, certified no, but auto insurance 9, but he's not certified. Okay, so I have 1 agent that is not certified in India, so in US, and 1 agent that is certified. Now we'll go to India. Let's say David. I got 2 David. Auto insurance 10, certified English 10. And then I will go back to Vijay Mali. English 10, certified, but he has a little bit less knowledge in auto insurance. I'll give him 7. Again, this is something that will be mapped to you by the business team. It's not something that you and I, as a technical guy, will decide, unless you are the business team. All right. So now one more. So I got the VJ, and let's do this one. Agent 2. Agent 2 will have English will be 8, certified false, insurance less than 9. All right, so now I got about five agents without proper attributes. Next step, I'm going to create a precision queue, and we'll call this queue, let's say, sales queue. I don't care whether agents are coming from India or US. I want to sell me the product. So abandon the calls. We'll just leave it default. If agent orders most skills are longest available, keep it default. Now what is important to me is the steps. Step 1 is that select an agent. I'm going to go to add attribute. Oops. Let's say auto insurance has to be true. That's the first thing. Auto insurance has to be greater than 8. Equal to, or there you go, greater than 8. If I click OK, see how many agents I met? 3. There are 3 agents available out of 5 that has auto insurance greater than 8. If I go and modify that, and let's select English has to be greater than or equal to 8 as well. If I click OK, still remain 3. If I change that value to 9, let's see what happened. See, it reduced down, number of agents reduced down to 2, because one of the agent was less than 8 or less than 9, I believe. So we'll leave it as, yeah, we'll leave it there. If I change it to OR, keep everything else, change it to OR, it goes back to 3. So you have to be very careful in terms of how you want to match this proficiency. And the last but not the least is going to be certified, equal to true. Okay, so before I click OK, remember, so far 2 agent has been selected. If I click OK, I now have only 1 agent that is selected, or not selected, mean they're matched. So that's my first rule. Second step I'm going to add. Okay, so if there's nobody else in that group, so let's go ahead and choose another steps. And step 2 will be, okay, English must be 7. Certified doesn't have to be. So I'm a little bit of, but I need the person to be very good in product. So I'm at the 2 agents available in that category. One more steps. Okay, auto insurance 5, English 5, but must be certified. And you can see it says what? Agent pool smaller than the previous steps. So you notice that my third criteria is that I have 1 agent. So the Cisco recommendation is that as you go down into more granular, I guess, criteria matching, your first step should have less agent than the next step, because you have a tighter requirement. So, but in my case, it's giving me warning saying, you know what, your last step is actually giving you less number of agents. So in an organization, we tend to have less number of expert than general employees, right? So obviously you have to, if you take that analogy, that step 3, I should have more agent. So let's see what I can do to fix that. What about I say false? That solves at least some level. Again, that is not a problem, but that's just to give you a warning that your setup may not be inadequate. All right, so let's click save. Storage level 30 seconds. Now I got the queue. I am now ready to. You want to give some time so that if an agent does become available, as opposed to go right away. So you give it a little wait time. So I got the queue. I will now open my script editors. Now let me open my full deployment. This is my existing working lab. I'm going to save this. Now I'm going to modify this. So let's do this. I'm going to delete this. I'm not using skills based. I'm not using queue. I'm not using this. So after getting the digit, I don't want to play it back. Let's add precision queue. So here you're going to add the precision queue right there. Okay, and you're going to connect this to this. So static, I must select the queue. So I only have 1 queue available there. So if I were to go back, let's just create another queue for hypothetically. We'll call this support queue. In operating system, in Windows, I'm using I believe 2008 64-bit R2. Okay, so let's save it with this. So I have 2 queue there. Is UCCE, not X. So I have to go back to browser mode, save it. Sorry. Come on, just trying to save. Okay, go to edit again. Whoa, what happened? Oh, okay. Delete, 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 delete. Precision queue. Okay. So I got 2 queue there, but I can only select 1. So one of the options you can do is use a dynamic and you can say, let's select an agent based on a variable. And then you can choose the variable from your available variable list that you have. So let's just show you an example. What I can do at this stage, if I want to be able to select multiple queue, I'm going to set a variable command called set variables here. And here I'm going to say that for call variable, let's use this one, call variable 9 sales queue. Okay, and connect this, and we're going to select this precision queue name. You can go by the queue name or the queue ID 5002 5003. See that ID right there, 5002 5003. You can choose that by either name or ID. So let's say we will select equal to sales queue. Sorry, you don't have to do that. We already assigned the value. Okay, we already assigned the value. So whatever the value we have in Q9 call variable call.peripheral variable 9 will become the queue name. So you can create right here. You can create, let's say, an if then else statement. If user press 1, assign sales queue. If user press 2, assign support queue. So I'm just going to keep it simple for now. Static sales queue. Voila. Connect this dot. Now I can either send the calls here, and if it is failed, I'm going to send the calls to end, or I can do some other error checking stuff like that. So let's see if I do a validation. The validation is successful. I can save this script as a precision queue. Next step is to do a map the call to my dial number. Let's say 2000. And once I map it, I'm going to schedule for voice CT call type precision queue. So now I'm ready to test the call. So let me connect my India agent. Okay, India agent. Oh, I need to register my phone. Give me about 2 minutes. I'm going to register my phone. So I have two Finas server. One is in India and one is in US. So I need to get the phone up and running in order for this to work. So give me 2 minutes. Let me log into my cluster. I will get back to you, Manoj, in a minute. Just give me a second. Okay, so this is my US cluster. So do I have my phone? Yep. and this is my I'm just opening up my IP phone. Just give me. Precision key is not available in version 8.5. It is version 9 and upward. I forgot that I had to rebuild this machine yesterday after a crash, so that's why I lost my phone. So just give me 2 minutes. I'm just going to disable the sharing for a second. Just to make sure, are you guys still with me, right? I thought I lost the connection for a second. I'm just installing the client phone on this PC, so just give me a couple minutes. Okay. Sorry. Okay, 7965. So the first 4 phones will go to my US. All right, perfect. So now, so phone 1, phone 5. Okay, so I got 2 phones registered here. 4001. Oh. So one of them is registered. Okay, why is going on here? Okay, so 3107, that is the India cluster. It's coming soon. Let me find out what is going on. Okay, that extension does not ring the bell. Yeah, that extension doesn't ring the bell. Let me filter. Oh, okay. My apology. I will use this. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. 3101. So I got one phone in the 4000 series phone that you see on the left hand side. That is from US cluster. The 3000 series phone that you see, that's from India cluster. Okay, you guys can see the screen, correct? All right, so now I can log in to US cluster. This is the India cluster. Let's say V Mali VoiceBootcamp 3101. So this is Vijay Mali. You got that right, Bhuvendra. So you can see that agent Vijay is there. He is right now not ready state. It's giving me some exceptional error, but that's fine. I'll leave it as it is. All right, so next I will open the US cluster. So let's say, what is it? Tim Cook, Bootcamp 4001. With when you log into Finas, you have to accept so many of these certificate things sometimes. So it takes a little. It's just the first time when you're logging in. All right, so I got Tim Cook, Vijay Mali. Let's go to ready mode for both of them. All right, so now I'm going to make a call. While I make the call, let's go to monitor mode so I can see if a call comes in or not. This is India. US, keep them side by side. My script, I gotta open another phone to test the call, and my dialing number is coming from US, so I gotta open a US phone. All right, so let's dial 2000. Okay, my CVP may be a problem. All right, let's do something. I will get rid of CVP for now. Just send the calls directly to the queue. I think my CVP may not be up and running right now. Cool. Successful. What do we want to do? Successful. Okay. Okay, you can see the call. Sorry, you can see the call came to Tim Cook first, and so if I were to redial, it came to Tim again. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep that call open. Okay, so I'm going to answer this call. Okay, so hold. And I'm going to, from the second line, I'm going to dial again, 2000. Where is the call going to? Okay, so on hold. Let's redial again. Okay, mute. So Tim Hawk. Okay, so that call is not coming to VJ Molly for some reason. So we have to find out. So let's go back to our configuration. Molly attribute. Oh, you see that VJ Molly doesn't have any attributes. So I gotta go back and assign him. So let's see what we have for Tim. I think I forgot to save it. That's why it doesn't show up. 10, 10, 10. So let's give VJ, let's say auto insurance 10 is certified, but English is 8. Okay, let's save it. Sometimes if you don't save, press the button hard enough, it may not accept it. Okay, I'm going to check the queue. Make sure that my queue has the number of agents. So far good. All right, let's try again. Now I'm going to have to log out as VJ. Log back in. and see if this is going to work now. All right. Okay, so Peter, you can apply supervisor access to this page. That's what you mean by manager, correct? Yeah. Okay, so let's try again. Okay, so I got both of them are logged in. Dial, call comes. Okay, mute. And then I'm going to make a call from second line. Okay. Okay, still not coming to agent. Okay, outbound, ready, calls queue. Why is that David is also not assigned? Okay, let's log in as agent 2. I'm going to put Tim Cook on not ready to see if the call comes into India cluster at all. Okay, so it did reserve the agent. You see that? Okay, so it did work this time. So the agent came in. So I'm going to try put Tim on her on ready status. Redial. So first call came to Tim. Let's see. Second call came to. Okay, second call you can see right here on the India agent. Okay, so that's pretty much what you're doing in terms of routing calls. Two agents from two different locations, two different clusters. Can be answering calls from a customer. They don't belong to any agent. They don't a skills group. They don't they're not tied to any particular what do you call a peripheral. So that is the power of precision queue. You don't have to worry about managing a skills group for achieving that. And the agents are selected based on the attributes that are assigned to that. Hopefully the lab, you were able to successfully understand the lab. Sorry about that, agent. I have to find out why Vijay Mali did not accept the call. Maybe he's running away for some reason. Anyway, just for information, that's pretty much what the lab. How do you do a precision routing labs? If you guys are familiar, if you guys want to see a little bit more about that, you are welcome to take a look at our YouTube page. You can search for YouTube at voice just by typing the command voice bootcamp. We do have 2 self-study kit. You can go to our website, download the demo. There are 8 to 10 videos in there on them. Feel free to use them for free. You can download it from www.voicebootcamp.com. Select the UCCE administration kit or the deployment kit. That will give you a lot of information about how it works. Just to give you ideas, we do have some classes coming up. If you guys are interested to join online, There are weekend batches happening, and there's a weekdays batch. They're all online, so you don't have to travel. I will send you this information through email if you know anybody, if anybody knows that who might be interested. It's a $3,500 course, but we're offering it starting from $1,499. So take a look at it. We have a class coming up in California time zone as well as India time zone in Bangalore. I will, like I say, send you this information through your email. The weekend batch is only going to be Saturday. In California time zone, it will be only 7 Saturdays for 3 hours, but you will have access to the lab for 8 hours every day, and you get 200 hours of lab access. For those from India and Thailand time zone, the batch number 2, which will happen every Sunday for 7 Sundays, starting from August 13 and 14. Again, don't want to waste you, keep you online. Thank you for joining this particular webinar. Hopefully you found it to be useful. Visit our website, and like I said, if you have any suggestions, comments, feel free to send it to me at sales@voicebootcamp.com or support@voicebootcamp.com. And otherwise, I'll hope to see you in the future webinar or in the class. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a great weekend. Upcoming weekends. Looking forward to myself. I will send you some information there, Bhupender. And I have